Massive win for all of the agricultural advocacy agencies last week. We were able to have some policy removed out of government that was going to greatly affect agriculture. The lower hanging fruit ones were the biosecurity levy. It was going to be a terrible both precedent for who should pay for a sustainable biosecurity framework. We believe that agriculture already plays its part through its R&D and all the heavy lifting that farmers do on farm, let alone then basically subsidising people bringing goods in. So that was a very common sense win and something that we're very proud of for all the different advocacy groups to get behind. We also had the super tax being removed off of the agenda in the Senate, which essentially was having to pay on assets that weren't crystallised, that taxation uplift. Once again, absolutely shocking principle and something that no one would ever support when you actually step it out to them. And that was some of our work, just going around explaining it to government and all of the different ministers and politicians why we thought it was a bad case. And then finally it was the Nature Positive Act, which essentially was looking at bringing in a national EPA organisation, another level of bureaucracy which is already hard enough to navigate underneath both local and state authorities, and something that what we believe wouldn't necessarily bring any more value to the environment. Well, for starters, it feels like the election campaigns have been going for a good month already, and we've been talking to obviously everybody in the different portfolios, as well as some potential candidates out there, about what is agriculture and some of the most important parts around food security in the nation. And that's one of the key platforms that we're actually putting forward to this year's election, is that we need a food security strategy to ensure that we've got resilience, especially around farm inputs and our supply chains, so that we can not only help farmers produce the food, but then also export them with minimal interruption from global events. Now, this has been a recommendation that's been kicking around for a little while. We're putting our shoulder to the wheel on this because it does then have knock-on effects around energy, supply chain, workforce, and some of the other key issues that the NFF and our family have been working on. There are some awesome innovations out there in agriculture, and obviously trying to match that innovation to production and get that good value out of it is always the way you've got to navigate through what does that mean on the ground for the farmers, and it's up to them to make those decisions. But one of the key things that the NFF have been doing here is supporting the data code, which is essentially organisations who are handling farmers' data to have these set of principles that they sign up to ensure that farmers are in control of their data and that data isn't on-sold without their consent. So putting some cuffs and tails around what the data can be used for and how that data is used when farmers engage with these companies. So it's been one of the great things to see a number of companies promoting the data code, and the fact that they are complying with those standards that actually help agriculture thrive.
Fantastic, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us on APlus News again. We appreciate it.
Anytime, thank you.
Thank you.